So yeah, it does feel a little weird to be making a video on this topic now that I work for a missionary organization. But those of you who were following my channel before the reset, those of you who read my blog before I took it down, I mean, how long have I been talking to you guys online? 10 years, right? You know I've been beating the drums of radicality among Christians. And what do I mean by radicality? I mean the root. I mean the radix. I mean being all the way in, going all the way down, being fundamental, being fundamentalist, whatever you want to call it, radical, committed. That doesn't mean wild-eyed. It doesn't mean crazy hair. It does not mean going to the Amazon or starting a commune in the middle of Montana, or even having some hipster urban monastery. I don't mean any of that, right? I just mean that we as Christians ought to be devoted and ought to be devout and ought to be sold out, and people ought to look at us and say, wow, that dude really believes, and he lives his life like he believes. So I posted a status on Facebook. Let's just listen to a Lyle Lovett song. You know, it was just a song, and Lyle Lovett was doing it. I believe I will die in the army of the Lord. I believe I will die in the army. I got my war clothes on. And so on and so forth. Just a spiritual song. You know, along the lines of that children's song. What was that song we sang as kids? Yeah, because it's hard to get the I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord thing out of it. I may never march in the infantry, ride with the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never zoom o'er the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Right. So I posted this status on Facebook just from the Lyle Lovett lyrics. I believe I will die in the army of the Lord. And one dude was like, what the heck's going on, right? Okay. What I meant by that was not my desire to be martyred. I'll be quite frank, I desire not to be martyred. But it wasn't just a lyric either, right? I'm in the army of the Lord, and I will be with it until I die. One day I will die. And on that day, I will still be in the army of the Lord. So in a way that's kind of commonplace, sort of quotidian, sort of whatever. But that's the kind of radicality I'm talking about. When I talk about us being radical, like most of us, I mean, there are people who are called to do the wild and crazy and hairy things. But the church itself is called to be radical, and all Christians are called to be radical. In the sense that, I mean, in the true sense, in the real sense, that they're Christians down to the root, that they come from the root. And it's all in, the whole way. You're not just trying to get through this life. You're not making compromises to make this thing more survivable. You're in the army. You're going to do the fight. And the fight very well might mean being an accountant, being married for 45 years, and having a couple of kids. Like, that might be the fight. That's a radical fight right there. And that's the one you're going to die in. Peace of Christ be upon you.